Uncle Iroh's advice always hit different, man. I was a kid listening to this grown man talk about the trials and tribulations. He made me sad about kids I didn't even have yet. But I want to look back at the footage and see if his advice still stands the test of time. Now that I got some life experience behind me, right now I'm studying to be a licensed counselor and therapist in the field of alcoholic and drug addiction. So let's see if it really can help us with some life experience behind us.
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
Okay, so this advice that Uncle Iroh gives Zuko is crazy. One of the biggest pieces of advice I ever got from a book that I read was the best experience you can learn and some of the most valuable experience you can learn is from other people. Don't get me wrong, you're going to have to go through your trials and tribulations to really know who you are and what you stand for. But you don't have to make the same mistakes that everybody else makes over and over again. If you keep your eyes open and you look around you and you see things from other people that you don't like and the mistakes that they make in their job, their work, family, stuff like that, you don't have to face the same pain if you can look around and learn from others. So, insanely solid advice, something I still use to this day, so that's one for Uncle Iroh.
Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very wise to choose happiness and love.
So the advice he gives the Avatar here is huge, especially this day and age with social media. We tend to over-glorify and make these materialistic things our ultimate goal. And we get it stuck in our head that if I'm able to get to this thing, if I'm able to reach this goal, then I'll be happy. What he's showing the Avatar here is just having the goal of spreading love and giving that to the people in your life around you is really where the prize is. And you don't have to search out here to find happiness when it can be chosen right here, right now. That shit hit for real.
I'm mugging you!
With that stance?
What? What are you talking about? Just give me your money, old man!
With a poor stance, you are unbalanced and you can be easily knocked over.
So I think this lesson that he teaches the guy who's trying to mug him isn't so explicit, but what I see when I look at that is the ability to respond with love in any situation. Think about the time that maybe somebody cut you off, or somebody stole money from you, or somebody just disrespected you at work. Our instinct is to lash out and reclaim our dignity and our respect, reacting with fear and anger. But he's in a situation where he's getting held up with a knife, and he shows this guy compassion and in fact can see in his eyes that that's not really what he wants. He doesn't judge this guy for what he's doing. He tries to lead him to a better path that he knows that he's trying to go towards. So instead of reacting with anger, he reacts with love. And we can try to look at different areas of our life where we want to react and take what we think is rightfully ours. But like he taught the Avatar in the last clip, that's not really where the happiness is.
You're fishing for an octopus, my nephew. You need a tightly woven net, or he will squeeze through the tiniest hole and escape.
So looking at number 10, that one is a little bit deeper. It's kind of hard to see what he's saying at the surface, but I think I've seen this in my life and the advice I've given others. A lot of people tend to look at the big picture. And when you look at the big picture, you tend to start neglecting the small details. So let's say you're looking at the big picture of raising your kid and you want them to be a great athlete and good at school. You're dead set on making sure that they end up where you think will be better off than where you're at, which is fair. But you start neglecting the small details, like how do they feel about it? And is this something that they really want to do? And what if they start trying to show you something that they like and you ignore it because you're so narrow-minded and tunnel visioned on what you want for them? So what he's saying is, if you don't make sure that the little details are in line, things are going to start slipping through the holes. And before you know it, you're going to be wondering what happened and you thought you were on top of stuff.
Sharing tea with a fascinating stranger is one of life's true delights.
Sharing tea with a fascinating stranger is one of life's true delights. What I hear him saying is we tend to be so focused on the past and where we were at and regretting that, or so focused on the future and how we're going to get there. We don't really have our eyes open to the experiences right in front of us. So even yesterday, I met one of my coworkers' spouses, and him and I had a fantastic conversation about this. And in my head, it had been 2 hours into the party, and I was kind of getting ready to leave. And I was thinking, man, how can I kind of slip out? You say bye to the boss real quick and make sure that I can get home in a timely manner. I was focused on where I was going. But I walked up to him, and I hadn't talked to him all night, and I said, hey, how you doing? And before I know it, him and I had a 30-minute conversation about how valuable being in the moment has been for us and how we tend to find a lot of happiness being in the moment. So stay where you're at. Don't be so caught up in your regrets, and don't be so afraid and worried about the future. And that's one of the biggest lessons Iroh teaches at every moment, because he's gone through some tough shit. And one of the only ways to stay grounded is being present where you're at.
Hey! It is usually best to admit mistakes when they occur, and to seek to restore honor.
When I'm through with you kids, the window won't be the only thing that's broken!
But not this time. Run!
This is a subtle lesson, number 8, because sometimes we get taught that it's always good to say sorry if we make a mistake or make amends if we did something wrong intentionally. But sometimes the other party's not so open to hearing what you have to say, and it's up to us to be able to gauge that. And that might be the best thing for them. It's not always, oh, we have to make sure that they know that we're sorry. That can actually be selfish at times, because making sure they know that we're sorry can make us feel good. But if they're not open to taking the apology, then we should just leave it where it's at. Maybe try to come back at a later time and let that simmer down. So, pretty rare and invaluable lesson that you get taught. Uncle Iroh's killing it, dude. I had my voice corrected. Let's try it one more time. Uncle Iroh's killing it, dude. All right, let's look at number 7.
People see me and think I'm weak. They want to take care of me, but I can take care of myself by myself.
You sound like my nephew, always thinking you need to do things on your own without anyone's support. There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you. Not that I love you. I just met you.
Number 7 is huge, especially for men, I think. So many of us are taught at a young age, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Somehow that implicitly gets translated to you got to do it alone. And a lot of us go through really fucked up hard times, and we think that if we can't figure it out by ourselves, it makes us less of a man. That is the opposite of what that makes us. And in fact, a lot of it leads to sadness, isolation, and confusion. So what Uncle Iroh is saying here is, sure, you might be able to get it done by yourself, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And if you're in a situation where you feel like, well, I can't turn to the people in my life, that's a sign. It's a sign to look around and see where other people are at in your life that could be helping you, and see where you've put yourself with people that don't want to help you. So I think for young men and ladies, I haven't dealt with those situations, so I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know for sure men tend to isolate in hard times instead of reaching out and asking for help, because our egos are just out the fucking wazoo, and asking for help makes us feel like little girls. And that's just silly, because we know that if you want something done fast, you do it by yourself. If you want something done for a long time, you do it with a tribe. So no need to be alone in this world. I'm going to cut this off, and if you guys like the video, I'll go ahead and do a part 2 to finish off this and see if we can get some more lessons from Uncle Iroh, because, I mean, he's killing it. These are exactly the types of wisdom that I like to impart with my patients and make sure that they see the accountability where they can take it and never being afraid to grow and keep continuing on their journey. So if you guys want a part 2, let me know. Peace.